If you've ever thought, I'm a fraud for struggling when everyone else seems fine, then this episode is for you. On this episode, we're going to unpack how shame convinces you that you're a failure at being a human being and how to start believing that your mess is actually proof of your strength. Are you ready? Let's go. What's going on? My name is Coach Lee Hopkins. My pronouns are he, him, his, and you're listening to the Patterns of Possibility podcast, the podcast for late identified adults who want real relationships without fake masks. Let's talk connection, clarity, and showing up as your authentic self. Now let's talk about the shame, because I talk about it a lot. Shame, because I think it's really a powerful device that's used to keep you from being the person that you want to be. When you feel a bunch of shame, it means that you are not living up to someone else's standard. You believe that you need to behave the way someone else wants you to, quite simply. And the strongest sources of shame comes from those people that we want approval from. We have a desire to have approval from our parents, our friends, maybe even our bosses, or maybe even random strangers on the street. You know, if they give you that look and you felt like, oh no, I should be ashamed of what I've done. I need to be ashamed. I didn't live up to their standard. Well, the funny thing is that you don't really know that person and you don't really know what their standards are. You know that face that they've made. You know that look that they gave you, and you associate it to something else that has said that's a shameful look. Whatever you've done, they disapprove of it and boo on you for doing something that a stranger disapproves of. Now, I'd love to be able to tell you that you should just not care, but who can do that? You can just magically not feel their feelings about the experiences that have been ingrained into them and programmed into them for many years. You've been taught to feel shame when people look at you a certain way, when people do something that signals disapproval. You respond, and not even consciously, it's subconsciously. It's pretty deep. So to say something as shallow as just be different, or don't worry about it, or it's not a big deal, put it out of your mind, just do you, it's not very practical, especially for the autistic mind. There are actually steps that you will go through in your thought process that will help you rid the shame. There are actions that you will take that will help you rid the shame, right? And so the idea that we have a ton of shame is where I was getting. Like, we have it ingrained in us because of experiences that we have. But we look at other people and how well they are put together based on what we think people should do, or what we think our parents think we should do, or how other people think like society treats them, or whatever it is. We look at other people who are quote unquote put together, that they are not breaking down. They handle stresses and stimuli like it's nobody's business. They never seem to get overstimulated or exhausted by, quote, little things. They have it put together. We look at those people and we look at ourselves and we're like, why are we not like those people? More shame. But what we don't know is what's really going on inside their mind, their body, their experience. They might be able to hold it together for a few hours outside when you see them, but when they go back home or they go somewhere where they're private, they break down. They just break down. They may be carrying around their own shame of not being able to live up to another standard, somebody else's standard. They might not be reaching the goals that they think they need to be reached. They may not be working as hard as they think they need to be hard. The point is, you don't know what's going on in their life. You don't know. You don't know how they really feel and how they're really experiencing the world. What you do know is that few moments with them, they look different than you. They appear to have their stuff together. So I want to help you see that this comparison does not serve you. It does not serve you. It hasn't served me for many years looking at other people. I know that it still exists. So I don't want to say like, oh, just stop doing it. As I said before, it's like you just cannot just stop doing it. Awareness to the dynamic is the first step. So noticing that, oh, this comparison doesn't serve you, doesn't serve me. I used to look at people, I still do, like people who are more successful than me. I'm looking at them and I'm like, wow, they've got like 10,000 more followers, tens of thousands of followers. And I don't even think their content is as good as mine, as actionable as mine. And it just seems like it's just AI slop and they're not working as hard as I am. I don't know. But what's happening with me is I'm shaming myself. I should be at this level. I should be at their standards. And then I get angry. And I'm like, wait. I'm spiraling. That doesn't serve me to do that. Instead of doing the things that will get me to the level that I want to get to, that will get me to the audience that I want to get to, that will allow me to help the people I want to help, I'm spending it here thinking about how XYZ person is so much more successful than me. Not knowing their experience, not knowing what they've done, not knowing how they really even feel about it. I don't know. And it robs me of actually spending time on what will get me closer to the goals that I really want. It doesn't serve us to do the comparison. It makes us less than when we are not less than. I prefer not to believe that I'm less than anybody. I prefer to believe that I'm capable of doing great things. And just because someone else is doing something great or appears to do something great doesn't mean I can't. And so that's a distraction from you being you. The real focus is on why you want to do this comparison in the first place. Trying to figure out how it benefits you is what will lead you away from doing that comparison. Because often this comparison with other people will give us a huge distraction, of course, but it'll keep us in this victim mindset where, well, they're doing so much better than me. Why should I even try? I will never make it as big as they are. I will never have the things that they do, or even focusing so much on them being ahead of you that you don't put time and energy into your own goals. You don't put time and energy to your own goals. And so when you don't put time and energy into your own goals, you don't reach them. And like, well, see, the reason why I didn't reach my goals is because I shouldn't have tried. I mean, I couldn't really compete with that other person anyway. He was so much further ahead of me. And so I didn't really even try. And it just totally makes sense because, look, it's self-fulfilling. I'm not as good as that person. I will never be as good as that person. They work so hard. So it just totally makes sense that I didn't reach my goals. But in truth, you weren't focused on your goals. You were focused on this comparison between you and another person. And you had so much shame about not being that person that society thinks you should be, that you just didn't reach the goals. It's self-fulfilling. It's self-fulfilling. So it doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve any of us to think about that. So what I'm going to ask you to do is look at these things in your life or these experiences in your life where you feel a lot of shame around, a lot of inadequacy, like you didn't reach a goal, you didn't meet a timeline, you haven't accomplished something, you didn't live up to somebody's standard, you didn't marry the right person, you don't make enough money, you don't, even down to your interpersonal relationships, you don't do the same things that your friends do. You don't behave the same way. You sleep a little more. You hyperfixate on something. And there's a belief, there's a belief somewhere that says you should not do those things. They are not normal. And by the way, I'm not a big fan of saying I'm normal or not normal. It just makes it it creates an atmosphere for shame to thrive, because it says that you're not being the way someone else believes you should be, which is shame, because you're not behaving with the same mannerisms, you're not speaking the same way, you're not eating the same kinds of foods, you think differently, you are different, but you're different in a way that's just way too different, right? So I don't like normal. And so what I use when people say you're not normal, I interpret it as I am giving them an experience that they are not used to. It's not their baseline, but it's not something that is going to bring me shame. It's a new experience for them, and they can be delighted in this new experience, or they can be shocked about the new experience. They can be angry about this new experience that I'm giving them because I've done something that they are not used to. I am someone that they are not used to. But I'm not taking any shame for that. I'm not ashamed of me. It's them who have been surprised by me. They can have their feelings. They can have them. I'm not going to be any less. So that's what happens in my head when people say you're not normal. Yeah, I'm not normal. I'm not an experience that you're used to. Got it. Okay. Now what? That's it. That's all it is. And so it helps me reframe shame. It helps me reframe this idea that I need to be somebody that I'm not, because the next person over here is not used to it. So if you feel like a fraud, it's because you were looking at people and thinking you needed to be like them. You needed to be like them and do the things they do and have the life that they have because, that's what they've done. But you don't know what's happening on the inside with them. You don't know what their life is really like. You don't know what they're thinking and what they're really feeling. So don't do the comparison. It wrecks your brain. I said that as if you can just stop doing it. But I want to keep that in mind. I want you to keep that in mind. And so what I would say to you, if you recognize the comparison, ask yourself this question: how does it serve you to compare? Your brain will think of ways. It'll think of ways. It'll go and it'll think of ways. Instead of saying, oh, I'm not as good as them, or I should be living up to this expectation, I feel like a fraud. The question that you want to ask yourself, to prompt it for an answer that's really going to help you, is how does it serve me to believe I'm a fraud in this space? How does it serve you to believe that you're a fraud? And it'll come up with some amazing answers for you. And if you don't get an answer right away, keep thinking about it. Keep thinking about it until you get an answer. And then that answer, the next step is to say, do I want this? How does it serve you? And when you get what it serves you, ask yourself, do you want it? If you want it, then, it's likely you'll continue to do it. But if you don't want it, then you won't accept it and you'll likely change your behavior. And so that's how you will stop getting yourself to do the comparison. I have lots of ideas to help people create more meaningful relationships. And one of the big things that I like to do is to definitely remove shame from the space. So I have some events that I organize. They're low commitment, low cost events that you can find at parentsofpossibility.com/events. They're open to the public, where you can come and practice being yourself in a shame-free space. It's a safe space so you can connect with other people and learn how to be yourself again, really. So we have an event that's coming up here next week. It's called Structured Social Hour, and we are meeting on the last Sunday of the month at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. You go into a Zoom room. We're going to be online. Go into a Zoom room. I'm going to share a little bit about what it takes what to talk about to make meaningful relationships and friendships. So there are specific topics that you share. If you're looking for genuine connection, you want to make sure you share these things. So I'll talk briefly about that, and then I'll send you into breakout rooms with other people, and you'll have easygoing, friendly conversation about those topics. And you'll walk out with meeting somebody new, learning a new skill, or just feeling pretty good about yourself because you've tried something new. It's absolutely free, open to everybody. You can find it at patternsofpossibility.com/events. It only lasts for an hour. So again, it's November 30th at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. And you can find the tickets at patternsofpossibility.com/events. I'll see you there. All right, let's wrap this up. If you've heard something today that has helped you see yourself in relationships a little differently, then I'd love to hear your thoughts. You can leave a comment here, or you can reach me at patternsofpossibility@gmail.com. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Also, if you could take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe, it really helps more people find these conversations and join our growing community. And speaking of community, if you're looking for a space where you can express yourself and be met with curiosity rather than rejection as a late diagnosed autistic adult, then come visit thepatternsofpossibility.com and find your community there. Learn more about what we're doing. We're connecting with others. You can be yourself and authenticity in this space. Find other people who've had your experiences, who know what you're going through, so you don't have to do this alone. Until next time, take care of your energy, and remember that connection starts when you allow yourself to be seen.